Super excited to see you. You're like, what is Malika or what are Malika and Jamila doing here on a Friday morning? Guess what? When life gives you lemon, what do? You make
Make lemonade.
lemonade. Okay, so we had some issues yesterday with a storm, but guess what? You are important, and so we showed up for you. Now, we have 4 months left in this year. How many 4 months? And so we can decide and we can language what those 4 months will be for us, depending upon how we language it, right? And so if you're here and you're a part of this community, I want you to be thinking for the next 4 months that you have 4 months of opportunity, and that it is your time, it is your moment, and it is your season. And no matter what it looks like, I want that to be your confession for the rest of the year, because you can't let these last 4 months slip by and you not maximize them. I know
Mm.
I'm going down a rabbit hole. We're supposed to be talking about profitable launches, but if you don't believe in what you are called to do and your assignment, then you're not going to be profitable in what you have to do. So, Malika, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then I come on back. I done started on fire.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. Let's go Friday. So again, I am Malika Shae, your marketing strategist. I have helped Fortune 500 companies generate over $1 billion in revenue. And I am your business's secret weapon to creating, competing, and conquering your industry through strategic sales and marketing strategies.
Yes, and everyone, you know who I am. I am the attorney for entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and churches these days.
Mm.
And I help you start and grow your business the right way while legally protecting your business through copyrights, trademarks, contracts, and compliance. I am your superpower and your lethal weapon, because without me, you are riding dirty in business, and it's only a matter of time before the folks catch up with you. I know, I'm the enforcer, but hey, when you proactively get me, things just change and shift in your life. So today we're talking about planning a profitable launch. Malika.
There is so much to unravel with planning a profitable product or service launch. But we don't have all day, right? We don't have all day, but we're going to give you some really good solid nuggets where you can actually take away, that will hopefully help you at least get started, and thinking through that process on what that process would look like for you as the business owner who is looking to launch that profitable product or service for for the rest of the year, actually, right? So I want to start out by saying first, Jamila, you hit the nail on the head earlier today when you talked about walking in our purpose, right? And
Mhm.
doing the things that we are that's purposeful, right? And so that is the first thing, period, right? We want to make sure that we are actually doing what we feel we are assigned to do, and not not what others are doing or what the popular thing is to do. So that is the first thing, and having a profitable product or service launch, just being true to yourself, and actually, like I said, doing what it is that you feel in your heart and your spirit is your purpose to do. Again, that's just the basics. The basics. Go ahead, Jam.
No. That is the basics, and I'm like, and then you take that, and then you ask God for His wisdom on it, right? Because a lot of times, especially entrepreneurs of faith, they will they will say, God gave me this idea. I know this is from God, and then have no strategy in business behind it. And
Hmm.
then when they don't see the fruit and they don't see the results, they wonder what has happened. What happened is you had the idea, the purpose, the assignment, but you don't have the strategy. And that's kind of why we're here today. And so, one of the things that I want to highlight from you, I'm going to put on, like, you're going to get both sides. You're going to get the legal beaver and you're going to get the business beaver. You have to really start off with thinking through, okay, I know my purpose, I know my assignment, but what problem am I solving in the market?
Right.
What problem am I solving in the market? And it's so easy for you to start to plan a launch, solving the problem in the way that you think it should be solved. Y'all want to know true story? True
Yes, give it
story.
to us.
I wanted deeply, and it's gonna be a part of my offer to do a 2025 planning summit, because I'm like, business owners are not planning enough, so they're not executing enough, so they're not making the right amount of money. That's not what the market wanted. And so, because I know marketing in a sense, that was test A. Like, we're not doing this planning summit. Then I have to switch it over. Like, this is the problem that business owners need solved now. And so I have to live in that world of what they want and what they're willing to pay for. And so I had
Mm,
to take a step back and I said, Jamila, you were doing the one thing that you tell everybody else not to do. You don't go out there saying, this is what I want to do. You go out there and you say, this is what the market is demanding from me. And
mhm.
since they are demanding this from me, I am going to present that from them. And if you're just coming in, I want you to be typing in or saying, it is my time, it is my moment, it is my season. The next 4 months are mine. The
Yeah.
next 4 months are mine. Malika, what else you got for them?
It's so funny that you touched on exactly. We always bounce right off of each other, because when you talk about, servicing and fulfilling the need in the market, that was one of the first things that I was going to say is making sure that you have your positioning statement, because that's ultimately what that is, right? It asks the positioning statement ultimately asks you, how does your product or service fill that need in the market? And in order for you to even get there, you want to start asking these other questions, right? Well, what is it? Who's your target audience, right? What are the segment of the target audience is most likely to buy the product? What are those things that you find you as a consumer and a business owner feel like you've struggled with in your business, whether it's again a product or a service? So these are some of the questions that you definitely want to ask yourself and create that positioning statement to help you again now figure out, okay, where do I go next? Just like you, Jam. In the very, very beginning, I remember trying to create a program based on what other people were doing, or what it is that I wanted, what I thought was going to be that thing that, my audience wanted. And the reality of it is, that wasn't what it you know what I mean? That wasn't what it was. And a lot of times from a marketing standpoint, I forget that everybody doesn't understand marketing at a more intense level, right? And so if I'm giving a program or a seminar or whatever have you on something that's a little bit complicated and complex, speaking to an audience who barely even knows what marketing is, that's not going to work. And so I had to kind of take a step back and say, okay, this is my target audience. This is where they are. This is what they need based on questions and feedback that I've received from them. And this is how I'm going to provide this service to them.
Yeah, yeah, that's good, Malika. And I know somebody probably out there right now is like, dang, like I've kind of heard this information and people keep telling me this stuff, but I don't really know how to use this. I don't really know how to implement this. So I just want to invite you to head over to iamandmore.com, join the leads, launches, sales, and legal protection 4 week boot. It's a sales boot camp, 4 weeks. Malika's going to be joining in one day to just drop a few gems and use code September 13 to save 13%. And one of the things that I had to do with this, right? We're talking about planning a profitable launch. I had to sit down and I had to say to myself, okay, what is it that I've missed in the past in the planning stage that has got me good results, but not the results that I was supposed to get, right? And so the other thing from a legal perspective that I kind of have to think through and coach people through often is how you name your launch.
Yes.
And this is so important because if you don't name your launch right, it's not going to land well. If you don't name your launch right, you might could get sued. If you don't name your launch right, you may not be able to even own the rights of what it is that you created. So recently, I was just scrolling online, and I looked and I saw someone was launching this, master class and everything. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And I was like, let me go and just do some trademark work to figure out what's really happening behind the scenes. Child, the woman is over here infringing upon somebody's rights. So here it is. She's trying to make money. I'm going to put it back up because somebody's like, I need to go on over there and make sure I sign up. She was infringing upon someone's rights. So that meant that all the profit she earned, if the person became aware, if they had an attorney monitoring their trademark, which you should, then she could be sued for everything that she earned
Wow.
while she was launching.
Wow.
So there
Wow.
is a way to launch right, and there is a way to launch in the hole, because you about
Right.
to launch in the hole and you didn't even know why, because of a name. And then the other piece with the name is you want to make sure that it's unique enough so that you can actually own the rights to it, especially if it's going to be one of those things where you're going to launch it again and again and again. I don't know where people are and what they've seen in the market, but some people, they just do the same thing over and over again, which is great, right? Because they tested it and they know it worked. Malika, I keep
I,
saying testing, but some people don't know what testing is. Can you talk to that? Because you're the marketer, for real, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, so good point that you made just in regards to having that what I call and consider a signature product or service, right? And so you want to fine tune that one signature product or service, put it out there and just constantly test it, tweaking it, just in testing meaning put it out there in the market, see what actually works within that program or within that services, whether it's your brand colors, whether it's the name, whether it's some of the content that's in the service that you're launching, or whether it's something specific about that product that you're selling, if it's a specific color or a fabric or whatever that is. Put it out in the market and get some feedback from your audience and let them tell you exactly what they love or what they don't love about the product or the service that you're putting out there. And then after you do that, go back in the lab and tweak, right? Go back in the lab and retweak it and make it. Because let me tell you guys, with anything that is out here now, whether it's the chair that I'm sitting on or you're sitting on, the computer, trust and believe they didn't get it the first time, right? They went out, they tested it, and they tested it to the point where it took some time and finally perfected it to where they were able to say, okay, now we can really, really, truly run with this and gain profits from this invention or whatever it is that we have created. So, when you talk about testing, testing is key, key, key. That is marketing 101 testing. And you don't have to be a marketer to understand that, but definitely testing. I want to also to talk about the importance of having smart goals, right? I think so many of us underestimate having those smart goals, you know what I mean, to really just hone in and launch what it is that we're doing. And if you're not aware, your smart goals is your specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and then your time bound. And this, I'm sorry, in this, what am I saying? In this sense, as far as the goals that you want to create for your actual plan. And the reason why I personally love smart goals is because it's very easy to measure, right? It's easy to measure. You can actually see, you can go back in and tweak things as needed. And so it is so important when we're talking about launching that profitable service or product. We want to make sure that we are having these goals in place, because without those goals, how do we know where we're going? How do we know how well we're doing, right? How do we know that our product or service is actually resonating with our audience? So these are the things that we want to put initially in place again and go back to the testing to see how that actually works.
Yeah, yeah, that's so strong. And you always talk about our alignment, because that's one of the things that I was saying or thinking through, but just a little bit differently in terms
Hmm.
of like, how are you going to qualify the launch, qualify the
Hmm.
results that you're getting? And most of the times we get discouraged as entrepreneurs because we just put things out there. But you actually need a 4 to 6 week plan that you're working, right? And I'm putting it back up here because people like, I never knew I needed a 4 to 6 week plan. Yeah, you need a 4 to 6 week plan that you need to be working, that you need to be pulling certain data points to know where the launch will go and where the launch will end, right? And so one of the things that is also important too is to make sure you have the right accountability partners, because then they could give you feedback along the way and save you on the amount of money that you will spend testing. Because news flash, it takes money to make money. So you cannot be like, I don't really want to, I don't know. No, you have to put some skin in the game in order for you to actually make the money that you want a return on. And so thinking through that, like right when I have my sales page go up, I'm like, all right, can you look at it? Can you look at it? Can you look at it? Boom. And then there's always something that you can do to make it better. And the goal is for you to get a template that's relevant for now. Right. The sales page that I did 2 years ago is not going to work in today's market. And so if you are not market focused, your launch won't hit the market rate. I think that's a gem. Somebody needs to be writing that down. If
Yeah.
you are not market focused, your launch won't market right. And if it doesn't market right, you won't get the profits that you're looking for. And so we're doing a deep dive this through the sales boot camp. And right now you can save 13% using the code September 13th at checkout. And just making sure that you understand the process of making money. Ooh, Malika,
Yes,
Malika,
yes.
Malika.
That part right there, understanding the process of profit, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the process of profit. And when you talk about having to put some skin in the game, that is so underestimated by a lot of entrepreneurs that's just starting out, or that's just been in business for a little bit, but they haven't been hitting their goals, and they're frustrated, they're ready to quit, and that sort of thing. But you have to understand, not only do you have to put in the time, but you have to put in the money. And the thing is that you want to put in those resources and the money in the right places. And I know a lot of us has been burned before, but being burned is part of the process. It's part of the process of entrepreneurship. You understand? And when you go into it, you got to go into it knowing that, you know what, I might not get it right the first time. This $10,000 I might drop here to, for marketing budget or whatever budget you have. It might not go the way that I planned, but I have to be willing to continue. If I want this profitable product or service launch, I have to be willing to continue and persevere regardless to what. Once you in it, you have to make that commitment to keep going, because it's all about consistency, persistence, and just being connected with the right resources, people, and the tools that you have to be able to make that profitable launch. This is why we come on here, one strategist, one business attorney, to help you guys get there. Okay, we want to help you guys get here. So we are here live every other week, giving you some gems, giving you those resources, so that way you can connect with us on the back end to help you grow your business and help you launch that profitable service or product that you want.
Yeah, yeah, Malik. And as you say that, I wanna, ask this question to someone like, why are you willing to sit in failure?
Mm,
Right? Like we'll start a pity party, we'll go down a rabbit hole just because we didn't. And failure is defined by you, it's very subjective. But we will sit there rather than study the data to inform our decisions for next. And I think a part of that goes back to where we started in the beginning. Like you aren't really planning a launch, you are doing your part to unleash your purpose unto the world. You are doing your part to be in your assignment, right? And so, for those of you all that are like, I didn't think of it that way, you have to be willing to sit down and process yourself to profits. That's our word now. We got to write that one down. Make sure that you are going through the process for profits, because that is the thing that is going to be able to help you get to the place where you're like, okay, this thing finally worked. And the reason why I said some of us are sitting in failure and just allowing ourselves to waddle there, because Jeff Bezos didn't start off as Jeff Bezos.
Nope.
You know, Bill Gates did not start off as Bill Gates. And sometimes we look at those things. They went through several launches. They went through, training on sales. They made sure they had their legal protection in place. They figured out how to consistently get leads. These are all things that you need to do as the four fortified pillars to make your business work. And that's why I'm inviting some of you, not all of you, some of you, to join me for this 4-week sales boot camp at imandmore.com, and you'll save 13% using code September 13th, because it's that important. To be
Right.
honest, I got some other stuff I could be doing, Malika.
No, yeah. Listen,
But I understand my assignment, right? So understanding my assignment, I know it's not really about me. It's about the people that I'm called to serve. It's not about my comfort zone. It's about the people whose lives and whose businesses are waiting on me and the people that I'm going to bring into this boot camp to actually show up.
right.
And so once you remove yourself out of that process, from it being focused on you and going back to that qualifying question, Malika, I said, what problem are you solving in the market? But what is it that you say that you ask the people initially?
Oh, what, as far as how does a product or service fill the need in the market?
Yep.
That is the question that you want to ultimately, ask. And you as a consumer, we as a consumer, we know. We know some of the things that we, like I said, that we've struggled with and the things that we need. Um and so that is, yeah, again, that is the foundation. I have a question. Where were we when we started out doing this entrepreneur thing some years ago? Where were we?
You know, you
Wait,
know,
because I mean, I wish that I had us to go to when I first started this journey.
Malika, you ain't telling a lie. And let me tell you why you ain't telling a lie. Like, I said to myself, like, I am an attorney. Why do I have to do X, Y, and Z? Why do I have to know X, Y, and Z? And I promise you, I had like a moment where it was like, because you at your core are a teacher. You at your core are a people developer.
Mm,
And so I had to allow you to go through the trials, the tribulations, the triumphs, the setbacks, because now I know that you're wired to build a blueprint for people to be able to teach them in that way. And so it wasn't that we were there, it was that we were in pre-development phase to be able to show up and be a real voice to people in this season, right? Because remember, it's 4 months left, and we're saying that the next 4 months are mine. It is my time, it is my moment, it is my season. And so, if you really believe that, you are a person that's ready to take action, and you are a person that's like, I'm not going to let my results slip by. Right. And so maybe you need Malika and I for your process right now, right? For you in your pre-development stage, as we needed other people too,
absolutely.
and now I'm like, well, what are the people saying? Like, stop going around telling people information,
Yeah.
telling people more information, and not giving them a systematic way to get to profits in a consistent way. Like that's really where my heart is.
Yep.
That's really where it is.
Definitely. I am so in alignment with that. Like, it's not about just the information. It's about how do we have this process and system in place, and how can we help you implement that? So it's about taking those actions, because those actions are the things that's going to lead you to the profits. It's not just about the information that you have.
Yep, Malika, we can stay on here all day with the people, but we actually got work to do,
Yeah.
leads to get, launches
Yeah.
to plan, sales to be had, legal protection to take care of. Any final words for the people?
I just say, like I said, be consistent and know that once you make that decision to start, you want to make that decision to finish, regardless to what that process is going to look like through that journey.
Yeah. That's good, y'all. You know where I'm telling you, there's only one place for you to be in the month of October, and that's in the 4-week sales boot camp. Why? I'm teaching you what a lead is and how to really get them and build the system for them. If you don't have leads, you don't have people to launch to. If you don't have people to launch to, you don't have people to sell to. If you don't have people to sell to, what do you need to legally protect?
Right.
And so just deep diving really what that looks like and giving you a blueprint, giving you a study guide, giving you feedback to work with you. And if you sign up within the next 24 hours, just use code September 13th and you're going to save 13%. It's Jamila Moore, the attorney, the business strategist. I help you start, grow your business the right way while legally protecting it through trademarks, contracts, copyrights, and compliance. Don't be out here riding
Riding dirty.
dirty.
Uh,
See you all later.
all right, guys. See you. Have a good weekend.